Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and of all things, this is a bonus footage video for the SMR. Yes, I know it's about a month late, but when it comes to the crunch of the end of a series, things kind of go out the window, and the bonus footage was one of the things that departed. As my ability to do any sort of work whatsoever crumbled rapidly at the sight of the finish line. So yes, that's it. The Weapon Guide series is over, it's done, it's finished. And this pleases me, although it also leaves kind of a void in my life. It pleases me, and at the same time it leaves me feeling a little bit empty. It's a very strange feeling, and it's difficult not to be overcome with like a post-season ennui. It's as though a part of your life's purpose has been removed. But it's alright, I'll be fine. I'm not technically stopping work, I am continuing to produce videos, but I am taking a more leisurely pace about things, which is good, you know. It lets me have a bit of space to breathe and to take some time off and actually to enjoy video games. I've been playing an awful lot of Skyrim this last week or so. I've been catching up on the DLC, been playing the Dragonborn DLC, just about finished that now. And I might do another run through of Dawnguard, this time as a vampire hunter instead of a vampire. But I haven't stopped work entirely. I do still have some plans for videos, but I've got a fairly open schedule over the next, well, until Call of Duty Ghosts is released, basically. In case you're wondering, and this is quite a frequent question on the comment sections that I see, yes, I will be doing some Call of Duty Ghosts content. Of course, it's going to be a weapon guide. The format may change slightly, you know, with every new series I do, I learn new lessons and I come up or devise new means to my approach, and I'll probably take on some of the lessons that I had with Black Ops 2 on board. But otherwise, yeah, upon Call of Duty Ghosts release, you are going to see videos, and everything's going to be gravy. However, between then and now, I'm going to start steering my channel in a slightly different direction. Instead of being a purely Call of Duty channel, I'm going to take a brief sojourn on other titles. I'm actually going to do some pan-gaming content. I have no shortage of ideas on potential videos. Some of these ideas are better than others, of course. But that's just part of the creative process, you know, you come up with 10 ideas for every one that gets finished, but the one idea that you do work on is probably one of the better ideas that you came up with originally. Also goes the theory. So over the next couple of months or so, there will be a mix of content. Impossible to say precisely what, but it should be hopefully quite interesting. I can see me taking a departure from doing like game guides. I guess you could say I've had my fill of those over the last 40 weeks, so instead I'm going to fill one of my fancies of being a documentary filmmaker. So a lot of the content I do for my main channel might be something resembling a gaming documentary. So currently in progress, I actually have such a documentary in the pipeline for my main channel. It's weapon related, but it applies not only to Call of Duty but to, well, gaming in general. It's a moderately interesting topic, but it's something that hasn't been done before, and well, hopefully my audience, that is to say you, amongst others, will find it interesting. But part of these next few months is really a chance for me to do whatever I want, whatever I feel like, but also to try new stuff and see how well it goes down. It's a question of saying to my audience, or at least implicitly saying to my audience, hang around for the Ghosts content, but in the meantime, let's do some other stuff. So it's a chance to slip in some experimental content. It's quite exciting, but also quite daunting, because I've got no idea how well it's going to work. But one of the key things that I do want to do is to sort of break out of the Call of Duty mold and appeal to a wider audience. Because to a general gaming audience, Call of Duty videos are almost abhorrent. The general gaming hive mind is vehemently against any sort of Call of Duty stuff. Call of Duty remains very popular, but for some reason, there's a dissonance there. It's almost as if everybody plays Call of Duty, but everybody hates Call of Duty. It's a weird sort of situation. So in any case, I'm pretty much blessed with a small period of time before the next generation comes to do some experimentation, and that's precisely what I plan to do. I also have plans within the next couple of weeks maybe to produce a major production for my as yet empty Drinks Ahoy channel. I've mentioned this channel a couple of times before. As I can see, I've got about 2,100 subscribers on that channel already, and there is a video coming. It should be a pretty major thing. I think the video itself is going to be about 16 minutes in terms of its runtime, and I just started to do some test shots with my video camera today. It's a documentary, and it's going to be produced to a similar standard to something like Behind the Lines. It's going to be a pretty good video. So it should be worth watching, and should this video prove to be particularly popular, it could very well herald more Drinks Ahoy productions in the future. But there you go, listen to me, talking about the future again. It's very dangerous because anything could happen between now and the release of these future projects. Like, somebody could come along to me and say, Stu, here is £1 billion if you never produce a video ever again. And I would say, give me the £1 billion. And then you guys would say, Stu, where are the videos? And I would say, I can't hear you, I'm on a yacht. That is just one of many potential scenarios which could foul the production of future videos. I mean, I doubt it'll happen, but you never know. You never know. Maybe someone will offer me an interesting job and I'll take it and then I won't have any time. That could also happen. I don't know. Once again, I need like a disclaimer for future events. Discussion of future events not guaranteed to happen. In the situation that such circumstances fail to transpire, you will not, repeat, not be able to claim any such compensation, nor will you have any grounds to complain. Any discussion of future plans are presented for entertainment purposes only. That'll do. Anyway, as you can probably tell by the fact that I've rambled on for about 6 minutes talking about my future plans, the future of my channel and all that sort of stuff is prime in my mind at the moment, and I'm trying to sort of steer it in a hopefully more profitable direction. But these events are yet to unfold, and so you and I together will discover these things as they happen. But until then, let's go back to the past, and I shall answer some questions from the SMR video. Now, a word on these bonus videos. I have all of the footage. For every single missing weapon, it's stored safely on my hard drive, and I will produce every single remaining bonus footage. I shall do maybe one a week over the next few weeks. Just, you know, in cases where I might be missing in action working on a more ambitious video, you'll have an update from me at least. Of course, the comments I'll be taking from the original weapon guides, they might be a little bit out of date, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm also going to take comments from the last bonus video, if that makes any sense. So next week, when I'm using up the Scorpion bonus footage, I will not only take comments from the Scorpion video itself, but also this bonus video, if that makes any sense. So I'll take the most interesting questions that are timeless from the Scorpion, and also any Scorpion-related questions, and then the more timely stuff I'll take from the SMR video. The bonus video, I mean, not the actual... You know what I mean. So let's go back in time and pick out some of the questions on the SMR video. First up, Kibamasi with, Stuart, have you ever had a Hungarian drink, like Zvak? As a matter of fact, I have. I actually have a bottle of something called Zvak Unicum. I think it's Hungary's national drink. And the best way to describe it is it's like a nice Jägermeister. It's like Jägermeister, but it's better. It's actually palatable. It's actually quite pleasant to drink. It's a herbal liqueur. And it's not half bad. It's not what I drink every day by choice, but it's not bad as an occasional drink. I bought the bottle as a prospective Drinks Ahoy episode, but I never got around to producing it. But you never know, it may very well feature in a future production for Drinks Ahoy. I make no promise. Lieutenant General Spartan says, what are your thoughts on Halo? And could you possibly cover the next one in a mini-series after BO2 is done? I quite like the Halo games. In fact, I think I've played every single one since... I think I've played every single one, even Halo Wars. But I was more of a single-player and co-op guy. I never really got into multiplayer in a huge way. And I think given the demand curve for Halo, it's unlikely I'm going to fit in a small series between now and the next Call of Duty. So, yeah, it would be Halo 4, I suppose, if I was to do Halo now. I don't know, I don't think the audience is there, and I don't really want to get into multiplayer for Halo 4. I'd much rather work on my more ambitious, more general gaming content. As for the next gen, as for Halo 5, I wouldn't rule out any sort of video content for it, but to tell you the truth, there exists another Bungie title which I think might hold greater appeal for me. That is, of course, Destiny. It's not often that a new Bungie IP comes along. It's about, well, once a decade. I mean, we had Halo in, was it 2001? and Marathon originally came out in 1994, and now 2013, 2014 it will come out, we have Destiny. And I have to say, quite excited for Destiny. If there's one thing Bungie do well, it's polish and just, well, good games. I mean, I honestly have absolute faith in Bungie to produce something in Destiny which is going to be quite good. So I would say, as far as video content's concerned, I would sooner produce Destiny content than Halo 5. I'm not sure how, I don't know, I mean, 343, they're not, I mean, they have promise. And I think they can do some good things with the Halo series, but if I was forced to take a bet, I would say I'd sooner play Destiny. Of course, I'm making the assumption that these games are going to be comparable. They might be entirely different things for different audiences, but I guess time will transpire. But I do have to say, of all of the next-gen titles announced, Destiny alongside Titanfall, and to a lesser extent, something like The Division, those three games are probably the top 3 shooty games that I'm looking forward to. There's a whole host of drivey games I'm looking forward to as well. Forza 5, The Crew, and Drive Club as well, I suppose. Atomic Films 95 asks, oh my god, that pun. Anyway, Stu, when Black Ops 2 Guide is finished, would it be possible to do a little bit of behind the scenes? I know you already have, but there are some areas, such as capturing footage and editing, that weren't covered. Ah yes, the behind the scenes series. These were a small insight into some of the production aspects that went into some of my videos. I kind of like doing these, but they are quite a lot of work to do properly, I feel. But the idea of making like tutorial videos or stuff like that is not entirely unappealing, and it may be something that I revisit in the future. One thing I've tried to start doing recently is to have a development diary, and I've been doing that on Tumblr. As far as I can tell, Tumblr seems to be a place where people post animated GIFs and pornography, and sometimes animated pornographic GIFs. But I actually quite like it for, just sort of posting quick screenshots and stuff, so I have posted some behind-the-scenes stuff there. I know I don't exactly go into sort of full-length tutorials on how to do stuff, but it is an insight into some of my processes, and I do hopefully I'll get into the habit of posting regular stuff there. So if you're on the Tumblr thing, you can follow my blog. I think there's a link on the channel page. I think it's also, I think I've got it in the description box as well. I think I put it in the default description for these videos. So yes, it's devblogahoy.tumblr.com. I offer this Tumblr blog without warranty. This is a place for me to post random things that you wouldn't see in the finished video, but you might, that form the kind of the work that goes into the video. It's a chance for me to just sort of post random screenshots of stuff and unfinished odds and ends. And once again, I might very well post stuff that never sees the light of day. It's just part of the nature of doing stuff. Sometimes you run down a blind alley and you put something on hold, or it just never gets finished, or stuff like that. So the usual disclaimer applies for stuff. But if you are interested in the stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes, then that is the place to look, I suppose. Shotsoon asks, hey Stu, do you prefer the FAL or the SMR in BO2? What about the M14 and FAL in BO1? I suppose it would probably be the FAL in both. Not just because I like the FAL as a rifle, not just because it's my favourite Cold War battle rifle, just because I prefer the lower recoil. The fact that with half a decent trigger finger, you can spam both of the FALs quite rapidly, and you can be quite effective with them. That, I think, is quite nice. Whereas, like the M14 or the SMR, you do have to moderate your fire rate a little bit. And you do get a little bit of long-range ability in exchange for that, but I don't know. Low recoil is nice. It suits my more aggressive playstyle. VTOL Aircraft Mad says, I heard you're making a game. Why not use Unity 3D? The simple answer is because it's a 2D game. A slightly more long-winded answer is because I enjoy low-level programming. And for some reason, the idea of hitting the OpenGL libraries directly appeals to me. Ultimately, it does add more work, but it does give me finer-grained control, and I don't know, I feel as a programming experience it's more valuable. Nothing wrong with Unity, but to tell you the truth, I never really, I don't know, I don't fancy getting into three-dimensional programming because I don't know how to model stuff really. I think in 2 dimensions when it comes to making games. As far as my game is concerned, the only thing it needs now is time. The only trouble is I can't see it being a terribly profitable pursuit to work on it, so I'm trying to avoid spending too much time on it. Perhaps once I'm recovered from, you know, this series and I've had some time off and I've finished playing Skyrim again, maybe I'll do some update videos and I'll actually, I'll introduce you to my game for the first time. One thing I'd also like to do is to introduce the game that this game is based off, which is a game that I made some 15 years ago, back when I was a teenager. So I might very well do a let's play of my original Amiga game, just to sort of set the scene, and then from there, I'll show you the new game and, you know, what I have planned for it. Alright, next question. J-Rapsy Dakari says, I know you have cats, but do you like dogs too? I don't mind dogs. Now, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't own a dog. But the girlfriend, she's quite fond of dogs. In fact, she would probably say that she's more fond of dogs than she is of cats. So at some point, you know, we might very well end up having a dog. But I'm quite content to have cats. The best thing about cats is you can just leave them to do their own thing, and they're happy. That and the fact that their sleeping patterns fit in with my sleeping patterns, which is to say they sleep all the time. Justice B115 says, what is your favourite cocktail? I'm not a frequent cocktail drinker, but I do know how to mix a drink. One of my favourites is probably a very simple one. It's called the Old Fashioned. It is, in fact, the first of all the cocktails. It's the original cocktail. And it's very, very simple. It is whiskey, sugar, bitters, and water. That's it. I'm not a big fan of whiskey on its own, but if you sweeten it slightly, add a dash of bitters, and then dilute it a tad, it becomes a very, very nice drink. The only trouble is you can't get decent cocktails anywhere, in any of the pubs or bars here in the UK. Maybe, I mean, I'm probably going to the wrong places, but you just don't find qualified bartenders. Like, 90% of the time you go to the bar, could you make me an old-fashioned blank stare? Bit asks, Xbox Ahoy, do you care about likes and dislikes? On the YouTube videos, not at all, really. I pretty much leave them uninfluenced. I don't care if people dislike my video. It has no effect whatsoever. Dislikes, as a statistical measure, they're kind of, I don't know, they're useless almost. Essentially, dislikes indicate a contravention of an audience's expectation. So if the title and the thumbnail builds up an expectation for a certain type of content, and the actual content doesn't deliver, then you might get a dislike. Well, either that, or if you just say something outright offensive, that would probably earn a dislike as well. But no, it doesn't bother me at all. So you can keep on disliking my videos if you like. I don't mind at all. It's fine. Anyway, coming to the end of the clips I have available, so I should probably give you a heads up about what's coming on my main channel on Friday, that is to say tomorrow, that is to say in the past, if you're watching this in the future. I have kind of a sort of a farewell compilation swan song video for the Black Ops 2 weapon series. It's kind of a combination of, well, it's a puntage, that's what I'm calling it. It is essentially a compilation of the puns of all of the... You'll see. There's also a whole bunch of vital statistics as well. It's a fun video, it's a commemorative one. It's the puntage, coming tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that one. But after that, everything's going to be all new. So, new video tomorrow, more to come in the future. Until then, farewell.